Hello and welcome back to the Vince Nerone podcast. I'm here today with my friend Morgan Walker. He is a firefighter and paramedic. He is the new owner of Dilly Dilly Donuts CLE. And he's also a husband and father of one, soon to be two. How you doing today, Morgan?
Good. How are you, Vince?
Good, man. Yeah, so nice to have you on here for real. I'm really excited about this episode to see and dive into your life and try and figure out, how you were before a lot of these things, during these maybe training for some of these things or whatever it is, or starting the business, and what you've maybe became or found out afterwards. So to start off, for people who don't know you yet, what does your day-to-day life look like as of right now?
As of right now, I mean, it's kind of up in the air depending on what my kid wants to do usually. So since I have my son, he's a year and a half now, when I'm not working at the fire station, which we work 24 hours on and then 48 hours off, so those 48 hours off, I'm doing one of two things. I'm either trying to juggle the donut business, like you said, or I'm hanging out with my son. So we're kind of in the midst of my wife. We're about to have our second kid in the end of May. And then the whole reason that we started the donut business was so that she doesn't have to work full time anymore. So right now our hands are kind of like tied with, having to watch, my son every 48 hours that I'm off because she's at work, still working full time. So
What does your wife do?
She's a pediatric physical therapist for Cleveland Clinic.
Oof. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she gets 13 weeks off whenever they have maternity leave.
Sweet. Pump them out.
Right. So we're gonna she's gonna take those 13 weeks off, and then she's not gonna go back full time anymore. So.
And you have a daughter coming, right?
Yes.
And when is that?
May 30th.
Wow, exciting.
Yeah.
You over the moon?
Absolutely. And this is my wife would have unlimited kids if she could have it, but I'm capping her at 2. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm good at 2.
You don't feel like you're busy enough yet?
Yeah, I feel like I'm plenty busy, trust me.
Yeah. So like mentioning, the firefighting and, being a dad, I know before the donut business, you also did a lot of paintballing, right?
Yep.
So clearly you're somebody who likes to stay busy.
Very busy, and then also very competitive, even within the nature of the donut business. Actually, I just went to Tampa, Florida for a paintball tournament, and we got...
So that's still going.
Oh, yeah. No, it doesn't...
It doesn't stop.
I get to break out of the house every once in a while. My wife is very good about letting me, explore things that I still hold on to from childhood because it lets me... reduce the stress in my life, with a business and then firefighting too. So
yeah,
she's very, very welcoming to those, thankfully, because I know not a lot of people would be.
Right.
And so within that aspect, yeah, it's very competitive still, and then still traveling to do paintball. But then the paintball thing isn't old to me, but it's not new because I've been doing that for a while now.
Yeah. But
the donut thing is new. So now there's a market for it in the Cleveland area. And it's not a very saturated market. And now I'm looking to hopefully be at the top of the food chain for that. So
Yeah, I feel like you and your wife must have a really great relationship. Was she always just super cool like that, and you guys felt like you connected in a way where she gave you that space necessary and you kind of accommodated her needs, or how'd that
100%, because she's very competitive like me. So she's a competitive volleyball player. She went to University of Charlotte on a full ride scholarship for volleyball, so she understands the competitive aspect within like a sporting kind of like sense, and anything she's very competitive. Anything we do together, we're very competitive against each other. Like whether it be like going to play pool somewhere or like going bowling. Like there's plenty of stories that we have with each other. Like we both bought a set of bowling shoes because we wanted to just destroy each other.
Your own ball?
Not our own ball, no, but just our own shoes.
Fair enough, good enough.
We were starting off, and then kind of went by the wayside when we had the kid. But we were very competitive with each other, but also outside of each other too. So she is very understanding.
Yeah. So how does she manage to be a mom and also do her job at the same time? Is it you basically have to take your time to watch Weston? As you have family and stuff that also help?
Yeah, no, our family is definitely a huge help, whether it be, my parents or her parents. Just, having that core group of people just outside of our, little household to help us with whether we're at work or whether we're on a trip to watch Weston or to watch our dog even. it's been a huge help.
They probably love it too.
Oh yeah, they love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But Amanda is super good. I mean, I couldn't pick the better person to be a mom to my children because she is A1 from day one. I mean, she is a pediatric physical therapist, so she lives, eats, sleeps, and dies by kids.
Yeah.
And she wants whatever's best for our kid. And just to know, like, being a pediatric physical therapist, what she does is she works on, like, maybe some ailments that they have growing up, and, like, maybe they're crawling a weird way, or they start walking a weird way, or even their positioning when they're a newborn.
Right.
She goes and she shows the parents that maybe aren't well versed in those things and prevents ailments down the road for those kids. And I can see that in our kid because he is just leaps and bounds like above certain people that I've seen with their kids, which isn't a bad thing. Like,
he's crushing it.
Yeah, I mean, he's very intelligent and he's just such a good kid. And I think a lot of that's attributed to her.
Yeah, that's really great to have that reassurance. I'm sure, like, man, to have a mom basically on steroids when it comes to watching your kid or watching her kid, your guys' kid. It's got to be so amazing. And like, also, it seems that you guys are like kind of a rock maybe for both of each other, which is obviously the foundation of an amazing relationship. I see that a lot with me and Rachel's dynamic. But I do want to circle back to this because this is something I want to talk about a little later. But before we get lost into that, because I'm sure we could go on with that for a while, I wanted to circle back to a firefighter because that's kind of who I've known you to be wanting. Like when we were in high school, I know you kind of were like looking at that. Was it something that I think that you've always wanted to be, firefighter, EMS?
Yeah, I never really wanted to do anything else. I wanted to be in public safety. So whether it be a police officer or a firefighter, I took the firefighter route, which I'm very thankful for. I don't have anything against police officers, but it's a tough job. I don't know if I'd want to do that in today's climate. But the firefighting thing, I've been doing that since we got out of high school, and it's been 12 years now, since we graduated.
I know, crazy.
Yeah, that's all I've really known because I work full time at a fire department, and then I work part time at a fire department too. And I've been trying to. You do something for so long, it doesn't become redundant in a way, but like, it just like. You kind of just turn in your wheels, you know what I mean?
You fall into it better, yeah.
And that's where the donut business kind of came in, where I wanted a little break from that, per se.
Was it also maybe becoming a little bit too comfortable, and you wanted to kind of like flex out a little bit, find a little bit of
I just
somewhere else?
I wanted something different. I was kind of like grasping for something different a little while. I was looking at maybe like doing like a construction thing or something, but I didn't really want to do anything like that. Like, I don't think I'm terrible with working with my hands, but I've never been like, that's not what I'm known for. I'm known for being like this goofy guy, whatever, like even through high school and like having a good time, having fun.
Customer service.
Sure, yeah. And then, the donut thing came around. I'm like, man, I can't not do this because it's such a good opportunity.
So was it, like you mentioned, financially for your wife to be able to, have more time with Weston, right?
Yeah.
And not have to do so much work. Was it also growth oriented too? Were you looking forward to like what type of things you might learn in this business?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, customer service. Like I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods growing up when we were in high school, and just like that was talking to people. Really good at talking to people, I feel like. So,
just kidding.
So, I mean, just having that outlet to, because usually when you're talking to someone as a fireman, you're not talking to them because they're happy. It's usually because they're having a really bad day, they don't feel good, they're sick, and you're trying to make them feel better. But I kind of wanted to, like, dip my feet into something where, man, like, they're calling me because they're happy. Like, hey, man, like, I've never seen anyone upset eating a donut, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now they're calling me because they're happy, and when I get to whatever event, I can continue the happiness. And, like, that, there's no negativity to it. Not saying that there's negativity to the fire service, but, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I'm assuming, like you mentioned, it's probably some heavy stuff that you have to go through as a firefighter, especially maybe even a paramedic. Mm-hmm. I don't know which one might be heavier, but either way, I can imagine some situations. I don't know if you want to maybe highlight one of those situations you're comfortable with sharing, but I'm curious how that might have changed you as a person as well, whatever the situation or multiple situations.
Yeah, I mean, no matter where you work, you can work for a super slow fire department and you can work for Cleveland, which is very, very, fast paced and like you're going. Mm-hmm. The point of matter is you're going to eventually see something that's not meant for the human eye to consume.
Right.
I mean, it's not, there's going to be a lot of bad stuff that you see, and the frequency might not be as much, but, you know, whether it be like a bad car accident, suicide.
I mean, how many do you really need to see before it's like, wow, it's a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple events that have been like burned into my memory that are just not good, but that does help you grow as a person, and it helps show you like, hey, you know, the mental health crisis in America and, you know, everything like surrounded around that it's prevalent because, you know, we see a lot of stuff firsthand that a lot of people don't see.
Are you talking about around substance use or like mental health, anxiety, and stuff like these things?
Anything you can think of, just related to, you know, the mental well-being of a human. There are a lot of people trying to like help and fix it as well as us, but I mean, we're only a very small niche part of the factor in the grand scheme of things.
And you really only get to see like maybe the start or the event itself, and then it kind of goes off to somewhere else. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you have a huge impact just in the serious situation itself, moving somewhere, but you don't get to actually maybe follow up with these people.
Yeah, essentially because we're there for maybe 20 minutes, and we transport them, and then they go to the nursing staff at the emergency room. That's essentially the level of care that we provide. So, I mean, it's not like we're not in it for the long haul. We're in it for the short haul where we're taking you to the hospital and just kind of see like, hey, what's going on or whatnot.
Yeah. Do you see some like mental health similarities across multiple things, or it can be a very vast thing you see, or what is that like?
I mean, anything and everything in this career field, it's very vast. I mean, nothing, whether you're talking about substance abuse. I mean, just to give you an example, there was a girl, I was probably 2 years out of high school from Mayfield. I was working in East Cleveland, and a girl from Mayfield was down there. She wasn't even graduated yet, and she overdosed on heroin on the side of the street.
She passed away?
No, we ended up reviving her, but it's just like
close to home.
Yeah, because now she's coming from my city. Like that's where I grew up. That's where all my friends are, and she's, you know, coming down here to East Cleveland to try to score some drugs, and you know, overdosing on the side of the road. Like it was just crazy to me.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something I've never even really seen. I have to imagine like the severity of the situation and what someone might look like when they're in that state has got to be really hard to. And you're also responsible for like what happens to this person. And yeah, I have to imagine that has to make you grow up kind of fast and mature quicker than most.
I mean, I was a 20-year-old kid taking care of a 16-year-old kid because I did Excel Tech, the program through high school where they send you through fire academy and EMT school through high school. And then I did paramedic school, which by the time I graduated paramedic school, I was like back half of 18, like coming into a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
And then I'm in charge of an ambulance, you know what I mean? Because I'm the paramedic, and being in charge of an ambulance as a paramedic at the age of 19, I mean, you kind of do have to grow up a little fast, because not only are you responsible for these people that are in the back of your ambulance, but there's a lot of legality behind it too. Like something goes wrong, that's on you. Like you could go to jail for some stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything that could possibly have prepared you for that moment, or it's the moment itself that you kind of just gotta?
Well, I leaned in a lot to my stepdad because he's in the fire service. So,
Right.
I mean, anything I ever had a question with, any type of concern I ever had with the career field, that's who I was leaning on. And then I also had a couple other people that I knew of in the fire service too at the time. But leaning on him, and like any type of question I ever had, I would always like go to him. Any type of like time I would get like upset at something, I'd always go to him. He's like my
huge.
rock.
Yeah. Someone who can understand, who's been exactly where you are. Because like someone like me, it's like, you know, I can kind of get an idea of what you're talking about, but at the same time, you can't feel it unless you were really there, I imagine.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just think that I don't want to make it like it's always like you're growing through something so negative like that. Like, but I really have to imagine that maybe you can appreciate life more, and the impact that you could land on for somebody's life has to be huge. I imagine, a lot of these things might be kind of negative circumstances, but you create a positive effect. And also, I'm curious, like, is there ever positives, like positive places you go out to,
Absolutely.
and it's not like super like, oh my gosh, it's horrible?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my favorite things to do is like kind of like PR events, like public relations.
Oh, right, cool, yeah.
And like when you have like kids come out, like at my part-time job, our fire station is located right next to a park. So in the summertime, I kind of make it a point, like when we're working out, like our gym's in the bay where we keep the trucks.
Yeah.
I'll crack the doors open, and then you get tons of kids that want to come and see the fire trucks. Like I like that part of the job because it's a well-known fact, and it's unfortunate, but not a lot of people want to do this job anymore. Not a lot of people want to be in the fire service, and there's a lot of people that aren't taking the civil service tests anymore. So if I can like really kind of like lock in and show a kid around to a fire like truck, that inspires them to want to be a firefighter growing up, then I feel like
you get to plant that seed.
Yes, because there's a good amount of fire, and I'm guilty of it sometimes too. Sometimes I don't want to talk to people. That's just kind of like human nature. Like sometimes I just want to be left alone. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of firefighters like that, but I try my best most of the time to be like, hey, like, let's open these doors up. Let's let these kids come in and just see
you're setting that
trucks.
example.
Sure.
Like, this is what a firefighter is like, and really showing like a kid who doesn't really know yet, but might be even on the fence of like, man, this looks cool. And then he meets someone like you.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, this guy's awesome. I might be able to work with someone like this one day. I look up to this guy. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be awesome. Have you always enjoyed like working with kids, or has becoming a dad make you appreciate it even more, or what's that like?
I'd say I always enjoyed it. I'm not trying to like go out of my way to do it, but like now that I have a kid, it hits more at home.
Yeah.
Because now I can be like, man, like this kid, like what he's like, he kind of reminds me of like Weston, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And
I want to kind of, I want the best for every kid. I wanted the best for every kid beforehand too, but like now there's definitely a different sense of emotion.
Yeah.
Behind it now that I have one too.
Yeah, that brings me up to the point I wanted to ask you about too. Like the day that Weston was born, what that had to be life changing. What was the like maybe both like leading up at the hospital, the anxiety, the emotions, and then like after you have them, you're holding them. Like what's that all like?
So that whole day is actually kind of funny because this is new to me. I didn't know this, but when your water breaks, they don't want you to come right in to the hospital.
Okay.
I always thought like, hey, your water breaks. Hey, we're gaslight. We're hitting every. Doesn't matter if we're going through a red light. We're going to the hospital. Yeah. That's not how it is.
Okay.
So they want you to come in when like contractions start, I guess. So Amanda's water broke. I was getting off shift at the fire station. She called me. I'm like, dude, like, it was about 7 a.m. We get off at 8 a.m. I'm like, well, do I come home early? Or like, what are we doing here? She's like, well, let me call the doctor and let me see what's going on. So she called. She's like, they don't want me to come in yet. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, because in the movies, it's like, you're like, oh, we gotta go.
Right.
Yeah.
And
the scene of the dad just driving.
Yeah.
Like full speed. Yeah.
Right. And we didn't go. So
that's got to be a weird feeling.
It's a weird feeling, but I cleaned the entire house before we left, so we can come home to a clean house whenever, you know.
Was it some cleaning anxiety too? Like you wanted to do something because you're a little anxious, or?
It's probably a little mixture of everything.
Yeah.
For sure, but I mean, we ended up waiting like 6 hours. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, Amanda, let's just go to the hospital. So we just ended up going. They ended up getting us a room, and throughout the night, it was like, I'll tell you what, I'll never look down on a woman because that has to be one of the strongest things that you can do as a human being, like, is giving birth to a child. Like, that was, watching my wife go through that. I had a whole bunch of respect for Amanda in the beginning. Now I have just a whole different level of respect. And, so.
Don't scare the girls watching.
No.
Yeah.
But Amanda still says, like, obviously she loves giving birth. She's doing it again at May 30th. Yeah, I mean, she like in a sense, I feel like it's
kind of paradoxical a little bit.
Sure, but it's I feel like it's a euphoric experience for her because you're bringing life into the world.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what she means by it, I feel like, when she says it. But
that's such an interesting point, because to think about people saying like, oh my God, it's the hardest, most painful thing. But then for a wife or a woman to say, I'm like looking forward to it. And like, I'm actually like euphoric about it. Well, maybe it causes euphoria, like you're saying, like that's crazy. Like what a contrast.
Yeah. Well, there's ways to mitigate the pain too. So like Amanda tried going throughout the entire like labor with no type of like pain medication.
Epidural, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called epidural. And she eventually ended up getting one. But man, she went to like she only had like a few more hours until she actually gave birth. And that like it was not the funniest thing, but it was like it was funny. So when before the epidural, what we would do is, and this was throughout the night. So I mean, I'm over here being like, oh man, I'm so tired. Like, yeah, my wife is about to push a baby, you know,
half passing out.
Right. Yeah. And then I'm over here like, man, I'm so tired. So I'm like, I got to suck it up a little bit. So well, every time that she would have a contraction, she'd want me to push on her lower back because it would alleviate the pain. But I had absolutely no problem doing that. She would like, of course. She would like moan my name. She's like, Morgan, my back, can you help me? And I'm like, 100%. I got up, dude. And I pushed on her lower back to help her because, you know, that's what I think a good husband would do.
Of course, yes.
And she's like, they start off with a medication. It makes you feel like you've had wine, like a bunch of glasses of wine. That's how they described it. So Amanda got that. She was sleeping for a little bit. You know, she would have contractions, but it wasn't nearly as bad. Well, that only lasts for like a couple hours, and that started to wear off, and then the pain came back, and then like I felt so bad for her, but she was like, Morgan, I think I need the epidural. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go grab the nurse real quick.
Should have started with that one.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. Every girl I hear, they're like, you get the epidural.
She wanted to see how long she could go, because that's like how much like.
Well, how come?
She wanted to see if she could give a natural birth, and natural means like no medications.
That's some competitive stuff right there.
Yeah, that's her being competitive.
Yeah.
And
interesting.
It just ended up like getting to the point where it's like I don't blame her. Like I don't even want to know what kind of pain she was in. But so I ended up going to get the nurse, and then when the epidural is a sterile procedure where they go through your spine and then they give you the medication. But so I walked out of the room. I went to the parking garage at Hillcrest. And I was just kind of like getting some fresh air. I come back, dude. It was the funniest thing ever. When I left, Amanda was miserable. When I came in, dude, she was like sitting up and she was like smiling like this.
Oh, because you have a epidural.
Yeah, she's like, hey. I'm like, dude, it's like a completely different person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I think that's really great for women to hear that, because it's like, I mean, personally, I'll have to go through it, but just based on what, you know, cousins in my life have said, and what's said to Rachel, like, just do it, they say. You know, don't even think about like doing what your wife tried to do and powering through. And then I think about the anxiety that I'm somebody who ruminates a lot and like dwells on the potential risks of everything. So I feel like I'm going to be worried about Rachel. I'm going to be worried about what could possibly happen to the baby. Like, what was that like to you? Or are you kind of more even keel because you're around?
Yeah, I mean, my best advice to anyone going is you can only control what you can control.
Yeah. Easier said than done, but okay.
Sure.
Fair enough.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree with that. And it is easier said than done. But like me being in the career field, kind of where, you know, sometimes we do deliver babies, and that's a very big possibility sometimes. But there's only so much that you're going to be able to do. And the thing is, you got to put your trust in a human that you really don't know, which is wild, you know, considering like there's doctors and nurses and stuff that's going to take care of, you know, Amanda or Rachel if she wants to have a child. And that's just kind of something that you kind of have to like lean into, like, hey, I trust in the process.
They do this every day.
They do it every day. I'm big on like praying about it. So like I'll always pray that, you know, everything goes smoothly and stuff like that.
And so everything essentially did go smoothly, or was it a little
dude, it went about as smooth as it could.
It's not really smooth.
No, I mean,
but,
no, like Amanda only like legitimately pushed for, I think it said like 30 minutes.
Oh, so she was doing good.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, the whole process was, I wouldn't relive it over and over, but like the first time I saw my son and everything.
That's what I was going to ask you next. I want to hear about this.
Yeah, the first time I saw him and like, I did. I cry a little bit because I mean, like, dude, like that's
I'm gonna cry a lot of it.
That's you.
Yeah.
Like that's you. You're
That's gotta
part
be
of bringing
crazy.
that into the world. And it was funny too because he has a butt chin like me, and he
Nice.
came out. The first thing that the nurse says, like, "Oh, look at his chin." I'm like, "Oh, look at my chin." Like so,
Aw.
it was just like definitely knew it wasn't the milkman's kid.
Yeah.
Or the mailman's kid. You know what I mean? It was
That's cool.
definitely mine. But yeah, I often say that there's 4 to 5 times I wish I could relive over and over in my life. It was when I got engaged to Amanda, married to Amanda, our honeymoon, and then when Weston was born. And then it'll be when our little girl's born too. But like, I wish I could, like, if I could go to heaven and just say, hey, God, I want you to let me relive these over and over again, I would be completely fine. I mean, dude, those were the best. No paintball event, no fire department event, no Dilly Dilly Donut event will ever compare to those moments in my life.
Yeah, that's really great, man. I'm really happy to hear that for you. That's so awesome. And I also wanted to ask too, like you mentioned, like how the baby looks like you. That's got to be really cool. But is there like a feeling almost like undescribable in a way, or like spiritual in a way, where it's like, this is my kid in front of me? Like it's just different. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's my child. And like, cause I can imagine in my head what that would feel like, but I don't know. People don't really describe it like how I can envision it in my head. Does that make sense?
Until you actually get to experience it yourself, it's very surreal. Like, your whole life is going to change just like that. And that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, man, my whole life is about to change. Not for the bad, but like, you know, for better. But it's going to, like, dude, it's times where it's going to be stressful. And I knew that. And I just like, all that was just playing in my head. But it was like a good stress. It was like Euro stress.
It was what?
Like Euro stress, like stress that's like very like positive.
What is that called?
Euro stress, like
I never heard that.
Eutress.
Okay, never heard that.
Maybe I'm not spelling it right.
So
Maybe I'm not saying it the right way.
Like positive, like good for you stress.
Yes.
Yeah, good stress for a good reason.
Right. And that's kind of what was going through my brain. All like a ton of stuff. I couldn't even like tell you what was going through my brain at that point, but I'm just like, I was thinking of a million things at one time, because it does, like, bringing a kid in this world can be stressful in a bad way too. Like, hey man, like, are we gonna have enough money to do this? Or like, what am I gonna have to do for childcare one day? Or what if, like, you know, I think about Amanda a lot. I'm like, well, what if Amanda gets sick? And like, what if the baby gets, like, I think of all the things that you just said that you think of too.
Yeah.
And it scares me, because I just had a close uncle that he's 33. He passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I think of like that's ingrained into my brain. Like, man, what if I lose Amanda? He has 3 kids. And my aunt is a widow now at the age of 34. Like, that's just crazy. Like, I think about that and it scares me. But like, once again, you can only control what you can control.
Yeah.
I think I'm going off topic a little bit
now.
No,
that's great. Like, I think that's exactly the question I'm asking. Like, because that's what I would think. I mean, who knows what can happen, you know, during the whole process of giving birth, but even like after. I mean, you know, I've lost a few people recently as well, and it does remind you that like life can be over like that.
Yeah. But don't think of the bad things all the time too, because it's very easy for us to think about the bad things, and it's very easy for me to think about the bad things. Even doing the most minuscule tests, like a donut event, like, oh, what if the generator goes down or whatever? Like, I always try to focus on the good things too. Like, man, like, the good things are what's exactly right in front of my face right now. Like, what's going on right now. Like,
yeah, you've always seemed to be good with that. Like, just based on growing up together, you always did seem like a funny, happy-go-lucky. Whereas I would love to learn how to be like that in a lot of ways. And I can be happy and positive, but I'm very much like problem-oriented, because I want to be able to solve things. So I don't really look at the good as much as I wish I could, and be appreciative. And live in the moment, smell the roses. Like, you know, the last album title is really a note to myself. Like, try to remember, you know, to smell the roses, because to me, it's like, I've seen millions of things go wrong in shows. Millions of things can go wrong right now. Half my mind's like, I want to check and make sure this is still recording right now, because knowing my luck, something turned off. You know what I mean? And I might actually do that. But yeah, but that's just kind of how I'm wired. So it's good for a lot of ways to be this way, because I'm constantly like attacking things, but it's also really stressful. And the rumination burns bandwidth in a negative way too, where you don't need to be as high strung as me. And it would be a lot better, I think, to be like, you can only control what you control, like you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of think of it as like a jiu-jitsu match, right? Like, because you got big into jiu-jitsu for a little bit. I mean, there's only so much that you could do
Still
on the
am
mat.
big in jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Sweet. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but
good.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know a ton about jiu-jitsu, but I can only imagine, like, hey, man, it's like, you're going to go out there, you're going to try your best. No one's going to fault you for if you lose, right? The only person that's probably going to fault you is you.
Right.
So that's the battle that you kind of have with yourself. Because I'm the same way. I'm very self-critiquing. I'm harder on myself than anyone.
Yeah.
And I want to be the best at everything. But that's not always how it's going to be. And it eats at me sometimes. Like, as much as like a happy-go-lucky person I sound like, you can ask my wife, because you see a portion of me. She sees everything.
Yeah, of course.
So she sees, like, I'm like in the house about to pull my hair out about some minuscule thing going on in life that doesn't even really matter. But that's what I feel like has made me the person I am today. And I can kind of like cope with that a little bit more, like when I'm in public and I have to like deal with like people, but like that raw version of me, no one gets to see is what she gets to see. So I'm very much so like you more than you think.
Yeah.
You probably just show it more than me.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the difference.
Well, and I think the comfortable middle ground that that balances what we're sort of talking about right now is like when you talk about a jiu-jitsu match or you talk about setting up for Dilly Donuts, it's going to be a problem solver as far as preparation is concerned. Prepare as much as possible. Like I'm going to be in the gym, especially if I know a competition's coming up. I'm going to be working on different techniques. I'm going to be thinking of my game plan, all these things. I'm sure you want to make sure you brought the right propane tank or whatever it is to run this truck, and you're going to double check everything. But then once you're there and it goes for shows too, I can only control what I can control. And I think that's probably the comfortable landing point that everyone should try and move towards.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So cool, man. I mean, I just also, this is kind of an impromptu question that came to me because we're both at this stage in our lives where I'm 29. Are you 30?
30.
Yeah, you just turned 30. So I'm coming up on that real soon. And I was just kind of curious to see your perspective on like, what were the 20s for you?
I mean, I wouldn't say I still wouldn't say I'm like super mature because I don't think I'm ever going to be mature.
You're mature, but
to the fullest extent, I should say.
Yeah.
But just it was a lot of like what your whole podcast is based upon, just like growing and like trying to become a better person and just trying to like not find out what like the meaning of life is, because that's kind of cliche, but like just like almost like, why am I here? Like what do I need to do to make other people's lives a little bit better? Whether it be, with the donuts or just being a nice person, like being at like paintball events and just going up to people. I'm not saying I'm like a huge name in paintball, but a lot of people know my name, and just because I've been on some like pretty good teams, but like people sometimes when they get into a certain point within that aspect in the paintball community, they almost become like a douchebag just because they think they're better than you.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, like we're here, we're playing paintball. Like it's not that big of a deal. So I always make it a point to just go up and like say hi to everybody and just like be friendly with everybody. So if I can kind of change that stigma around that was another thing. Is just like I just want to be nice to everybody. It's not always going to work like that. Like you're going to have your conflicts. Like it is what it is. But just being able to, I don't know, I like just grow from mistakes too. And I'm not saying I'm made like a ton of mistakes, but I made a good amount to where I like, hey, maybe I should do this next time, or maybe I should do this next time. Or I did a lot of like forgiving too. Like me and my dad, we kind of butted heads when I was in high school too.
Yeah.
I kind of like in my 20s, I was like, let's just start over and like call it a truce, because I'm like, I don't want to go through life hating one person, and then I was leaving my sister and my brother on my dad's side out of it too because they were involved with him, and I'm just like, let's just nix the whole thing, start over, and just be like, hey, we might not have like agreed upon everything and stuff like that, but that was a big thing for me too. It's just like not forgiving, but just like understanding where everyone was coming from in a different situation. Because I've had a ton of family stuff, and my mom and dad have never really seen eye to eye, which is fine. I mean, no one's ever going to always do that, but just being able to kind of get past that in my 20s, but I use that, as a positive experience for me. I always try to look for the positives and everything and be like, hey, that happened in their relationship. I don't want that to happen in my relationship with Amanda.
Yeah.
And I don't want my kid to have to go through that. So I kind of looked at that like, hey, like this is a good learning experience for me too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of your meaning in life, which I would completely agree with, is derived from your relationships, and you want to grow into somebody who can nurture relationships even better. If that means taking some, I don't want to say negative because I don't want to put that light on your parents, but like negative aspects of their relationship and turn that into a positive. Sure. Or find the positive. And it allows you to cultivate strong relationships along the paintball community, along being a dad. And that's literally, you're speaking my language, because that's what a lot of this podcast is about. Like, whether or not it's successful from a view standpoint, it helps me become a better communicator and be able to have better conversations with people. Like, I was in the sauna recently and I realized how much growth I've had, because I make it a point now. I used to be someone, I just put my headphones in the sauna, I don't want to talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. But I make it a point now to try and get reps, I call it. I talk about this a lot. And it's just like, let's see where this conversation goes. And at first it started off as just reps, but then I found out, wait, actually, this was a really interesting conversation. And I really enjoyed this. And I tried to remember the person's name. And when I was leaving, I made sure to say, all right, Tim, we'll see you next time. And like, then you start to build relationships and community. And, I think for a while I thought that I was going to somehow build something without people or something, which like, I didn't consciously think that, but the way I was moving, it seemed like that. And now like I've implemented these reps alongside this podcast thing, and it's made me somebody who is starting to cultivate deeper relationships. I've always had pretty good relationships, but I kept it sort of tight. Mm-hmm. And now I'm sort of expanding and trying to become a better communicator so I can derive the same thing, that meaning, through relationships.
I think that's a lost art.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see it within the fire service and like the younger kids coming up, even our generation. Mm-hmm. People don't have really good communication skills. Everyone's glued to their phone, and I am just as, guilty of it, because I'm glued to my phone now trying to like promote the business and everything.
Oh, I know it.
But that's like what you're saying. You're leaps and bounds in front of everyone just doing that because you're talking to people. That's networking. Like that's how you build, like you said, you build relationships in the community, and you could be talking to a multimillionaire. You don't even know it.
Yeah.
And then he catches a wind of your podcast and he's like, well, why don't you let me on the podcast? Let's talk about some stuff.
Right.
Or just giving you business advice, or just like, just having that friendly conversation with someone and remembering their name. That's one thing I'm very bad at. That's one thing that you're good at. People remember that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've noticed too, like in jiu-jitsu, I'll remember someone's name, but they don't remember mine. And they feel like stunned for a second. Like, oh, what's your name again? And the next time I see them, though, they remember my name. Because they're like, oh, he remembered my name. I fucked up. I need to remember his name.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think communication is my favorite skill in the world.
Yeah.
And I realized that recently. And yes, you're right about, what you could get from maybe if it is a millionaire, but it's and not that you're saying you're using them or taking advantage. Like I know I'm not putting that in your mouth, but because it's true, you can build. That is how you build pipelines of networks and stuff like that. And there is possible great opportunities that come out of that. But looking past that, even like just the relationships in life, that might get you a financial stability that you can help people that you have good relationships with. So it's like, it's a full circle in a way. Like you have good relationships with people, maybe it gives you good opportunities so that you could share that opportunity with relationships later. Yeah. And I think that's like the full circle that I've been trying to land on. And it hasn't been easy because it's very easy to just focus on how is this going to get me views, how is it going to be a good content. And I'm not saying that at all. Like I hope it doesn't come off like I'm putting that, like that's what you were saying, because I know it's not. Mm-hmm. But I think, that full circle is I think the key. I think that is the meaning in life to me. Yeah. And I don't know, we all have different alignment, as far as like what we derive meaning from. I think you're probably closer to like where I'm at. But, as far as I'm concerned and what I enjoy in life, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, take this for what it's worth. I know I'm not anyone other than a friend. Like I'm not your dad, not your mom, but I'm proud of everything that you've done.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
And I mean, from starting like doing the band stuff to the podcast now to that's not easy. That's not easy to do. And you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable state because you're putting yourself on social media and you're putting yourself, where someone could just tear you apart.
Yeah, well, they're going to, but that's okay.
That's all right, because at the end of the day, like, hey, I'm trying to be the most genuine kind of person I can be.
Right.
And growing up with you, I know I've known your personality since we were
a little different back in the day.
You were a little different, but that's all right, because we all grow up. You've grown up into, like I said, I'm not trying to be like a father figure here or anything like that, but like you've grown up into, a man, and now you have your own house. You're working for the family business. You're doing your podcast. You're like, this is part of the American dream, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're very similar that we like to stay busy, obviously. Yeah. If it's not the band, now it's the podcast. If it's not, paintball or as much, it's Dilly Donuts.
Yeah.
And, it's funny to me that you brought up, it's going to be a lot of stress now that I have this kid. And yet, let's start a donut business on top of being a firefighter, on top of being a dad and still doing paintball. So it's like, things seem like, especially in the moment where you're like, my life's about to change, probably like, how am I going to do this? But you just go for it and you kind of figure it out along the way.
That's I have a sporadic personality, if you haven't been able to tell through all the years, where when I got I bought a motorcycle, but it was just like that. I'm like, I didn't think about it, I just did it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like the same thing with the donut business. I'm like, Amanda, I'm going to do this donut business because we got it. Like, technically, it's
good though.
Technically, it's a franchise, but it's not like a very well-known franchise. But I got it from a friend of mine. He lives in Ocala, Florida. His name's Frank Connell, and I play paintball with him. So paintball has opened up so many avenues of my life that I never even thought would have been possible.
Right, back to the connections and communication.
Right, absolutely. And we brought the franchise here, and I mean, since we started it, I haven't really had to think about anything because he's helped me along the way. He's been doing it for 8 years.
Yeah.
So I knew it was a for sure thing. It was just a matter of forking up the initial money, which is a lot, but it's that short term loss of money is going to help for a long term gain of money.
Yeah, and I really think what you're doing with the meta glasses and those videos,
right
I really believe that if you just stay consistent with those, that's I actually I skip a lot of people's shit. When I watch those, I'm like, I want to see this donut thing and some sprinkles added to it with this person order. You know what I mean? And that's gonna get more people to notice, come see you. Your communication skills are already good. You're gonna like this guy. You know what I mean? I want to go support, or I genuinely just like these donuts. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, and a friend could have you post up at their wedding. I don't know if you do weddings or.
Yeah, no, we do. So this is an advertisement for the donuts. I'm just kidding, but we do anything. Yeah. We do catered events, graduation parties, weddings. We have a wedding coming up in September that we just booked up.
Yeah.
A lake club booked us for a private event for July 4th. So we're going all the way out to Hartville.
So do you just pull up and then people buy from you and they have to pay a certain amount?
So it depends. There's something called self-pay events, which means the consumer that's going to be at the trailer is going to pay for their own stuff. Or we do a private event like the wedding where we're prepaid. So no one has to pay for anything. It's just an unlimited amount of donuts for 2 hours or whatever time frame they want.
Yeah.
So
that's sweet. Yeah. And so, man, that's got to be really great to just be able to get out there and build those connections like we talked about. But so looking at everything, the family, Dilly Donuts, being a firefighter, I know we've been kind of touching on this, but I am curious, from in your words, where are you getting this meaning or impact or purpose? Out of which one of these is maybe the core pillar, or is there is it kind of branch out like a tree amongst all these? Is there a core through line amongst all these? Do you understand the question?
What's the reason in that? Or
I guess is there something that is connecting all of them that you feel this is why I do a paramedic? This is why maybe I love being a dad. This is why I do this donut thing. Is there a behind?
It's a
deep kind of.
It's a deep question. Yeah, that's one I feel I would have to think about for 10 days and then get back to you. But short of the answer is I just feel I was placed on this earth, to do one thing, and that's just I feel it's just to change people's lives, whether it be my family's lives, whether it be other people's lives, And I'm just trying to do the best version of that I can do, like that I can kind of feel like I'm doing. And I don't feel like I'm done. And I don't, with my mindset, I don't feel like I'm ever going to feel like I'm done until I go to the ground and, that's it for me. But like, that's why I feel like I was just placed here to make a difference in people's lives, and hopefully for the better, never for the worse. But
And you think that across
every
everything you do, that's kind of like,
yes,
that's pretty much what I was asking. So,
yeah. No, I mean, I feel like I was placed here to change people's lives for the better.
Yeah, and it seems like that's how you show up. Like, it is really about how you show up, because even something like you'd say, well, how does Dilly Donuts do that? But it's like just by the interaction at the window and like how you show up and how you talk to the person. And it could be a big light on someone's life just in that circumstance. Obviously, being a dad and being a family guy, a husband, those are same things. You could change their lives, obviously, in so many great ways. And then paramedic, huge, firefighter, huge. So I think, yeah, that's a really cool insight to how you tick, and that's exactly what we're trying to pull out here on this podcast. That pretty much covers everything, but I wanted to know if you wanted to take a second maybe to plug anything you have coming up, whether it's Dilly Donuts or anything you want to just tell the people.
Yeah, so we have a pretty action-packed summer with Dilly Dilly Donuts. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's at Dilly Dilly Donuts CLE. And there's where we kind of like keep everything updated with our schedule. And in April, we're going to be doing a pop-up in Solon at an ice cream shop called Pop Culture CLE. The local Dunkin' Donuts in Solon just closed for remodeling for a couple months. So we're trying to like dip into that market over there. So on certain days, on select days, we're going to be we have a mobile food trailer. So that's what the Dilly Dilly Donuts brand is. But we actually branched out. We bought a push cart too. And what that push cart means is that we can make the donuts inside of a building, but safely. So we have our own onboard fire protection system on the actual unit. And typically when you're like working with oil and stuff like that, you have to have an overhead system that sucks up all that bad air. This has a downdraft system that sucks all that bad air that goes into a carbon filter. So it's portable.
Yeah, so you don't got to be posted up just outside.
No.
You can pull into an event inside. Sweet.
Absolutely. And that's how we're going to do a lot of our winter events, because me and my wife ended up doing a lot of winter events in the trailer, and it was terrible. We were freezing our asses off.
Yeah.
But, we have a couple of those coming up. And then the rest of the, year, we're going to be at the Grove in Mayfield Village. We'll be at Men at Rocks, which is a huge venue. Like, they're bringing in, like, huge music artists at Men at Rocks. And then we got a couple festivals that we're doing and stuff like that, too. So we have a lot in the works, and we're still trying to get our feet kind of wet in the area because not a lot of people know our name, but we're trying to branch out. And I think a lot of people within a short time frame, because we only started doing this in October of last year. I already have amassed 1.2 thousand followers on Facebook, and we got about 600 followers on Instagram. But it's weird though, because most of my views on the videos come from Instagram, and we have less views on Instagram, or less followers on Instagram.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Okay. I didn't really know how like the algorithms
I feel like people
work.
on Facebook are more willing to like
follow
and interact, whereas like Instagram is kind of like they're maybe on their reels and they're just like move, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But dude, like that's huge. 1.2K and 600. So you're on Instagram, Facebook, is that it, or TikTok?
Yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook right now. People have told me to get on TikTok, but I don't know. I just haven't made that plunge yet.
Yeah, that's great, dude. I'm super proud of you guys, or proud of both you and your wife, and super happy for everything you've done. I'm really happy that you came on here today, and I appreciate your time. And once again, guys, go follow Dilly Donuts. Make sure you guys check them out somewhere. And thank you guys so much for watching the Vince Nerone podcast. Morgan, my guy, man.